What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on Corey's Holcomb response to what went down between LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith, right? And I thought Corey Holcomb made some good points. And if you ever watched Corey Holcomb, you know that Corey Holcomb is really not a fan of Stephen A. Smith. Corey Holcomb says that Stephen A. Smith, in his opinion, is he's like ESPN's boy, right? And so ESPN network uses Stephen A. Smith, and Corey Holcomb's opinion uses Stephen A. Smith to say things that black that white people can't get away with saying, in the media. Because if a white person was to say some of the things that Stephen A. Smith says, then that would be considered, they would be considered like racist or prejudice or something like that, right? So Stephen A. Smith is allowed to say the things about black people that someone white in Stephen A. Smith's position would not be able to say, right? And so the thing about that, and I think Corey Holcomb makes a very good point, and I think that that's why Stephen A. Smith, and we spoke about this on our podcast. Part of the reason why Stephen A. Smith didn't really like what's the guy name, Max Kellerman, is because Max Kellerman always had, in a lot of people's opinion, more of a fair and biased, a more balanced opinion about different type subjects, right? Whereas though Stephen A. Smith always wanted to go in on people, and you could tell that Stephen A. Smith had uh, uh, like ulterior motives, or he would show a double standard, like with the guy from the what's it the MMA, the guy who runs the MMA, what's his name, Dana White or something like that. He had an incident where he struck his wife, and so the first thing Stephen A. Smith said was he started to apologize, and said that this guy was his friend, and so he said Dana White was his friend, and he tried to justify some type of way with Dana White, striking his wife, whereas though there have been uh other athletes and black people more in particular, whereas though he didn't even wait for all the information to come out, and he just went in on people, saying that people don't belong in the league. um Wait a minute. Saying that I'm sorry, saying that people don't belong in the league, and without even giving them the benefit of the doubt. The way he went in on Kyrie Irving, people point to that incident. He went in on Kyrie Irving, for the situation when COVID was going on. Um, and Stephen A. Smith makes it obvious that he is not that he has a bias, but he tries to justify it by saying he's just doing his job. But when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to white people, it just seems that Stephen A. just has he has a bias, and he wants to prove, that he's willing to call black people out. When for black people just want you to be fair across the board. And with Stephen A. Smith, it just seems like he's not about being fair. It seems like he's about really just trying to sell people down the river or destroy people's careers, especially if it's a black person that get caught up in some drama or something. He will not hesitate to try to call you out or drag you through the mud, man. And so when Corey Holcomb says stuff like, I think there's some legitimacy to Corey Holcomb when he says that Stephen A. Smith, will say some things that, that white people, would probably wouldn't say because they think it would make make them look like the racist. So they get Stephen A. Smith to say stuff like this, and 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 I think this is for a lot of people, it's kind of frustrating. Like I don't even really watch Stephen A. Smith, you know, because I don't see him as somebody who's a credible source. When it comes to talking sports. Like if I'm sitting in a barber shop or if I'm sitting um I'm at a bar or something somewhere, like he's the kind of guy that I wouldn't even really want to talk sports with, because it just seems like he's saying things just to get a reaction out of people, number one, or just trying to, instead of having a legitimate point to make, you know, um, he's not like that. And so, a lot of people I don't think really take this guy seriously. I just see so many different comments with people saying that Stephen A is just showing their disapproval of Stephen A. Smith. And personally, I don't know how he could still be on ESPN. I think the reason he is on ESPN still is like what Corey Holcomb says. He has to, and he just got a new contract. So evidently, if he just got some more money, so evidently they're happy with the work. The people at the network are happy with the way Stephen A. Smith is conducting himself. But this dude, Stephen A. Smith, in my opinion, is just one of a kind. You never really see. Yeah, I mean, you can, but I don't know. I don't see anybody else who will go to the extents that Stephen A. Smith would do, to throw black people, throw his own people under the bus. You know, and like I said, people don't mind your honest opinion, but people do want you to be fair. If you fair with one group, and you give one group the benefit of the doubt, then we want to see you do that with both groups. Who's the guy from I forgot the guy that was at OKC, the white guy. He has some people alleged that he was dating somebody who was underage. And Stephen A. Smith came on and said, "Well, we don't have all the information, so we're not going to comment on that." But I think a few days before that, another young man from the Houston Rockets got caught up in a situation, and Stephen A. Smith was like, "Oh, there's no place for this guy in the NBA." And it turns out the guy was not even, he got arrested, but it turns out that the young lady lied on this young man. And so Stephen A. Smith had already thrown this guy under the bus with no information. And so that this guy Stephen A. Smith, man, is just a piece of work, like I said. But yeah, I think Corey Holcomb made a good point, though. That Stephen A. Smith will say things that that maybe somebody else can't say, and he's willing to throw anybody under the bus just so he can stay in their favor. And so, yeah, I mean, but good for him. I think that all money is not good money, and I think you know most people don't watch. Well, I don't want to say most people don't watch, but a lot of people that I associate with really don't watch Stephen A. Smith. And so that's my take on it. And I thought, like I said, Corey Holcomb made a good point. And with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment, and don't forget to definitely subscribe. Like I'm probably about like 20 subscribers away from 10,000. So I'm definitely trying to get 10,000. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and look out for a brother. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.